Prolonged war in the Middle East made many forget what one of the primary goals of Israel has been from the day its army entered Gaza: to bring all the hostages back. Tactics used by the Netanyahu government in this war raise questions for many, including in Georgia, but the story we'd like to share with you today has different, yet very important purpose: to remind everyone that lives of those hostages also matter. Georgia today was given an opportunity to interview Moran ben Yishai and Yair Moses, children of Gadi Moses, a 8-year-old seasoned expert of Mashab who still remains in tunnels under Gaza. In the morning of October 7th, when your family was preparing to celebrate Simchat Torah, Hamas terrorists attacked Israel. Could you please tell us more about the day which changed your life forever?
On that day at 6:30 in the morning, I was in the kibbutz. I lived there with two of my daughters, and right away the alarm goes on and a lot of missiles were heading to Israel, to our area. After about 20 minutes, someone inside the kibbutz wrote us that there are terrorists inside the kibbutz and we need to lock us down and be very quiet. And right away we started to hear all the yelling and shouting and bombing and shooting, and the chaos started. I was able to talk to my mom on the phone, tell her to close the TV, to be very quiet, and to take care of her. With my dad, with Gadi, I didn't spoke. We were just texting, and he told me that he saw one of the terrorists and to be very safe and to take care. And after some hours, his partner to life, Efrat Katz, who later on was murdered, she managed to text us that he was taken. And there was lots of hours of real fear for life. We heard all the noise outside, and there was a lot of the house were burning, so we heard the fires. It was right close to me. They were shooting to my house, and they got into the house, stole some things. Luckily, to my house, they didn't came close to the shelter room, but all around us, all the neighbor where I lived, it was chaotic. Most of the places were burned, people were kidnapped, and only after 10 hours, the army got and took us to a safe place. There we saw that a lot of people are missing, as they all were gathering together. And at night we really start to understand the horrific situation where in our kibbutz, 1 out of 4 people was murdered or kidnapped. And between them, our mother, Margalit, and our father.
Very important to understand, Moran said, the amount of bombs was not normality. But people must understand, for people in Israel in the last 20 years, it's like normality. From time to time, some bombing on the cities and kibbutzim and everything. And it's just for some time, you go to the safe room, wait 10 minutes and continue with your life. I don't know any other country in the world that would accept it. So yeah, it was different from normality, but our normality for the last 20 years was, from time to time, citizens are being bombed by terrorists. And for me, from the same. Me and my family, we're living in a city called Gedera, which is 1 hour drive from Niroz, more or less. And we just the same. We woke up to the sirens, went to the safe room, and after 10 minutes, we went outside, and we called both my father and my mother. They said, "Yeah, we are okay. We're in the safe room. It was just the beginning. Don't worry, we are okay." And that's it. And so we continue with our life. Stayed in. We didn't know if it's going to continue or not. And slowly, we opened the TV, and we saw that it's keep going on and on from time to time. We had to go to the safe room, and again, again and again. And from time to time to text them. Then we started to hear that they are terrorists, so they cannot talk. So we tried only with texting them. From time to time, we talked to Moran, and just around 9:30, 10, we lost connection with both of our parents. We still had connection with Moran. Our brother live in another place, the same, and we have contact, but we lost connection with our parents. And it was the not knowing what's going on. And in the beginning, we thought maybe it's just no power, no cellular reception, something. But slowly we understand it exists, and it's a problem, and that disappeared. And then we got the messages that Efrat said that our father was taken by the terrorist. Later, we understood that when they came inside the house, he left the safe room and told the terrorist he is the only one in order to protect Efrat, her daughter, and 2 granddaughters. And then, indeed, they took only him. Later, another group came and found them and took them too. 2 granddaughters, only 2 and 4, were also 49 days in captivity until they were released.
Gadi Moses was a seasoned expert of Mashav who visited Georgia numerous times to help Georgian farmers. Could you tell us more about him as a father and as a person who loved this country?
He loved people, no matter where they're coming from, what they're doing. He loved to share this knowledge with everyone. Of course, he was an amazing father and grandfather, and only good words we have to say. All the kids love him, all the grandchild. And for him, all the kids of the kibbutz are also like his grandchild. He doesn't care. He will treat them and play with them and do whatever he can with them. And like you said, he was a world expert, especially in potatoes, but in everything. He loved coming here to Georgia to share his knowledge with the people, with the amazing people that are here. We heard in the last yesterday from many people about him, and we know that every time after he returned, he was so happy to share, to see this beautiful country, to eat the food, drink the wine, and be with the people here, because the hospitality here is amazing. He never said, "Oh, I need to go to Georgia again." He loved coming here. He was very, very happy to come here.
I might say my father he really cared to know what's going on in the life of his grandchild. So every time he was, I'm coming, everyone are at home, I want to speak to everyone. And sometimes it was hard because I have small children, so every time, but it was so important to him to stay with them, to sit, to talk about life, to talk about school. A lot of time we went to the fields just to see what is growing now, and he was explaining them, and it was really his heart is such a big heart.
When was the last time you received information about Gadi?
We have one video that Hamas released on December 19. After 76 days, we have one video when you saw it speaking, and over there he was already very, very thin, looked very exhausted, very tired, but we saw him speaking. So for us it was it's an absurd. But he said, "We are happy to see that our father is in captivity, alive." But the absurd to say, but yeah, it is. It's better than know nothing and you don't know if he's alive or not or anything. So, but then December was 5 months ago. So, and we have nothing since then. So it's a long time to wait and without any news. Yes.
Your mother was also abducted on October 7th, but thankfully, after 49 days, she was freed from captivity. Could you please tell us more about the day when she returned?
It was very surprising to know that she will be on the first day of release. And we were all waiting for her in the hospital. And we had a chance when she was delivered to Israel to talk with her on the phone before she was arriving. And she really, the first thing she asked is, what about Moran? What about me? Because she know I was there also. She didn't know if I was alive or anything, and what about my kids? So it was very emotional to hear her, and that she heard me, that I'm okay and I'm alive. And then when she came back, it was such a release to see her, such a strong woman, and to see how she managed to stay positive in all those dark days in the tunnels. And really, we're so blessed to have her again with us.
Could you tell us about your hopes for the future?
Our hopes that we will be back as soon as possible, and that he will be able to recover as much as possible, both medically and mentally, because it's such a long period. So the impact must be huge on both body and soul. And we just need to hope. We know he is a very strong person, physically, for someone which is we mentioned his 80s 2 months ago. He was 80 in captivity. Instead of having a great celebration, we just sat together and cried together that we cannot celebrate it. And he also very strong mentally, and we hope this will hold, and that he will be able to recover as fast as possible, and we'll be able to return to our life, a new life together, and be able to do it.
There are lots of friends and family that are just waiting for him and all the others, and really we keep the faith that he will come back, and we'll do everything. We are doing everything, and we'll do everything for his return and for making him well as much as we can.
Hamas terrorists took hundreds of hostages on October 7. That day, we should say, united these families of abductees. Could you tell us more about your relationship with them?
Actually, we are now a family. Most of the people, the people from the kibbutz we knew before, some of the kibbutzim near Oz we knew before, but now all the families of the hostages were a new family, joining a terrible situation, but we are family, we support each other, we talk all the time, and everyone shares these hopes that people will be back. And unfortunately, we also have some that we know that are dead in captivity, and we wait for them to be buried in a proper burial inside Israel, and that's it. So it's very important that everyone will be back, and we're supporting all the families, and the support we get, all around the world, and here in Georgia from the yesterday that we saw is amazing. And we know our father, a lot of people care about him, but we also know that the public here is supporting Israel and supporting this, and it's amazing the ceremony that we had yesterday in the garden for Israel with the olive oils. It's very emotional, very, very, very strong feeling that we have friends here that support us and give us all this support, and it's amazing, and very, very grateful for this.
Since October 7th, we see that both the people and the government of Georgia express their support towards Israel. What would be your message towards them?
As my brother said, we are really honored and thankful for the support, and we just want everyone to do anything he can do, if it's to say a prayer or to post something, or just to keep the mission of and the strong shouting for the world to bring them home back. Everyone, the dead for buried in Israel, and the lives for recovery. And this is my wish, and I thank for everyone that do even the small thing is for us very meaningful, and we thank for that.
It's a matter of being human being. It's not a matter of politics. It's not a matter of conflict. It's a matter everyone that has some humanity in him need to support the return back home. It's not It's not soldiers, even soldiers that were captured in battle need to be back home. And in this case, these are civilians that were kidnapped from their home early morning, sometimes barefoot in their pajamas. And if you have some humanity in you, you need to support their safe return home as soon as possible. And that's it. It's that simple. It's not something about the war, about the conflict, about anything else. Yeah, we need to take care about the future and make sure this will never happen. But first, they need to be back home. People over 80s, we still have 2 babies there, and women, and a lot of things that we know that happens there, and we need it to be stopped immediately.